Everybody, welcome to Hangin' and Sangin'. I'm Kelly McCartney from the Bluegrass Situation. With me today at Hillbilly Central, Chance McCoy
Hello, Facebook Live
and Radioland,
and radio and every other
podcast
thing this
world.
is going out to that I
Yeah,
don't know about.
there's so many places it goes. We're on like at least 3 or 4 radio stations around the
Yep.
country. Yeah, Alaska, Telluride.
Fox News tonight.
No, I don't think they'd let me on Fox. Something. I don't know what it would be, but there's something that would keep me off
Mugshot,
Fox.
maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only.
My record.
That's my only hope for getting on Fox.
Mugshot. Well,
Yeah.
you'll look good in it, I think. Yeah. With the pigtails. That'll be a good
Yeah,
look
totally.
on Fox. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have my original pigtails that I had. I cut them off about 5 years ago, and I saved them, and they're on my wall. So I was thinking I could just weave them in as extensions.
Yeah, but not like on to, like in different places.
Yeah, you could
Like
have
put
like,
two up here and then two down here.
or maybe I could have two Princess Leia buns.
Yeah,
Made out
and
of braids
pigtails.
and the pigtails.
Yeah, this is our whole new trend.
Yep.
And then like all the hashtag live authentic guys, they'd be like,
Exactly.
you'd go viral.
Yeah.
You'd call it the chance. Or something. Chance buns.
The chance buns. Oh,
Oh, but we digress.
sorry.
That's okay. It's what we do. So Chance McCoy, part of Old Crow Medicine Show,
Yes.
and more.
And more. So
let's-
much more.
Let's do a little Chance McCoy 101
Sure.
background thing because you don't have a website for people to like go and find out about you. So I think we need to teach the people.
Yes, I'm the 21st century George Harrison.
Okay, let's go
of
with that.
Old Crow.
All right, let's go with that.
The Quiet Crow.
The quiet. Yeah. Okay, I'll believe that. So you grew up in West Virginia,
Yes.
playing in punk and rock bands. Yeah, a little bit
Yeah, a little
in
bit.
your youth.
A little bit. The first band that I was in was called the Speakeasy Boys.
Okay.
And that was more just an excuse to get drunk and run a speakeasy than it was. But to be a band, but I did learn some music in there.
Right. And now they were sort of old time without knowing they were old time. They were like the punk version of old time.
Yeah, we didn't know what old time music was actually.
Right.
We did know what bluegrass was, and we had heard the term old time, and we were playing some old time music. We had a washtub bass player, we were playing Soldier's Joy, things like that. But it took me like a year being in that band for somebody to finally tell me what old time music was. I kept asking around, what is old time music, and nobody could tell me. So yeah, it was amazing, and we basically ran a bar out of a basement of a friend's house, and every Sunday a friend of ours would go down to the Potomac River and fish out a bunch of catfish, and we'd fry them on a barrel, and about 200-300 kids from the local college would show up, and we'd play music, and it was a ball.
Awesome.
So that was my experience learning folk music and bluegrass and old time, and then I started performing in folk clubs, and I was like, why is everybody sitting down and listening?
Where's
This
the
isn't what you do.
catfish?
Here's a beer.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Yeah,
dance. Just start
dance.
dancing.
What do you think it was about that kind of music, or maybe it was how you guys were doing it, or maybe it was the beer and catfish? But what was the appeal to those college kids?
I think the appeal was is we created a scene. We always our bumper sticker read, "We're not a band, we're a party." That was the appeal.
Your life's motto ever since.
Yeah, I mean, I think that works for a lot of acts. You know,
Yeah.
if you know, sometimes it's not about the music; it's about the event,
Yeah.
about creating an event, creating a party.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was very much what the draw was in that band.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then once you got into the more proper old time
Yes.
folk scene,
Yeah.
it was a whole other vibe.
It was a whole other vibe. Yeah, it was great because growing up in West Virginia, I actually never heard folk music because it was pretty rare. I mean, it still is.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to look. I didn't have any connections to it. So when I finally discovered folk music in West Virginia, I was in my early 20s, and I realized that there was incredible depth,
Right.
this well of music that went so much deeper than just the surface level, you know, Soldier's Joy,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, Pig in a Pen. And that's where I really started to fall in love with old-timey music, especially.
Right.
And I was lucky enough to study and apprentice with master musicians from West Virginia.
Right.
So that's where it started to change for me. And then I took all that and went out and tried to perform it, and that's when I realized that
That's when
that's,
you ran into all the folks who were like, that ain't bluegrass
yeah.
folks, and
I'm
the
like, well,
yeah, well, yeah,
actually,
those types.
yeah,
And it's so, I mean, it's frustrating for us on this side of it, and so I can't really imagine how frustrating it is for an artist to bump up against that idea of like this music that was sort of born from innovation and evolution and like,
yeah,
passed down and meant to be changed
yeah,
and interpreted, with people being, but that's not how you do it.
right.
How's that? How do you even deal with that?
I think that you just have to stay true to yourself and ignore the chatter
Yeah.
and ignore the criticism and all the great old time musicians that I've studied with, people in in their 80s and stuff like that have all said the same thing. They
Yeah.
said we fucked the music up too.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
we messed the music up too.
We can bleep that in post.
Okay,
We'll fix
cool.
that in the mix.
All right, yeah, we messed the music up too, is what these old timers said. We didn't
Yeah.
play it right either.
Yeah.
That's always it's a comedy of errors. It's every generation messes
Yeah.
it up,
Yeah.
and that's why it becomes their own.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that gave me a lot of confidence to go ahead and keep messing the music up.
Right.
So
Especially if it's an oral tradition.
yeah,
I mean, it's a game of telephone basically.
it is.
So
Yeah,
it's gonna get interpreted.
you get 20 different fiddlers playing a tune. You get 20 different tunes.
There you are.
Yeah,
Yeah. So then your first solo record, appropriately titled Debut, was 2008.
yeah.
What led up to that, and why has there been only one
Only one.
in all of these many
All in
years?
all these years, yes. I was thinking about releasing the anniversary edition now, but it's 10 years later.
Debut revisited.
Yeah, every year, there'll be the another edition of it,
Do it with an orchestra?
remastered, new track order.
Yeah.
It's on vinyl now. Now it's on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that came together. I'd actually given up playing music
Okay.
at
You were
the time.
teaching. Were you teaching by that point? Not
Well,
yet.
I was teaching a little bit at Shepherd University. I was teaching a little bit of fiddle, but I'd gotten married, and my wife and I at the time had our first child,
Okay.
and I thought this music stuff, this isn't a good livelihood for a family, so I went ahead and became a carpenter,
Okay.
and thought, oh, I can always just play music on the weekends and do it for fun.
Right.
But then I realized my hands were all swollen and calloused, and I could barely squeak out a note on the fiddle anymore.
Right.
And it got to be pretty depressing. So my father stepped in and said, look, you're a great musician. You need to make a record, and I'm going to give you some money to do it.
Thanks, Dad.
So he stepped in.
Yeah.
He intervenes.
Yeah.
And that's how the Appalachian String Band record was made.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he's not around to give me any more money. So that's why there hasn't been any more Appalachian String Band records.
Gotcha.
We got the
Alright.
one out, and it was great. I mean, it's amazing looking on it now that record has been discovered by a lot of people.
Yeah.
In the old time community. I mean, it's never gone mainstream or anything, but
Right.
there's a lot of people that actually listen to that record.
Because it's really good.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
that just amazes me that years later that people are still into it and still listening to it. And it's incredible because when I released it, I think I got a couple hundred copies made at CD Baby and got some boxes shipped to my house in West
Right.
Virginia, and there was the grand CD
There was
release.
that. Whoop whoop.
Yeah. So I
Right.
mean, I would, every once in a while I'd sell a copy. I think I did one, 3-day tour, and
World tour.
yeah, yeah. I spent, maybe a couple weeks trying to figure out how to build a website and failed.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do really. I mean, I guess if I had been more business savvy or had somebody involved who could have maybe had helped me at that period, I could have had some momentum on that project. But
Right. Well, it turns out you didn't quite need it.
looking back,
Looking
Never
back
mind.
from here, oh well, okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I'll join your little string band
yeah,
catch.
I'll
Fine.
find another way.
Whatever.
Yeah,
So then you were just like living out in a cabin and teaching
yeah.
fiddle at Augusta Heritage, right?
Yeah, I
When
was.
you got the hey, come try out for our little string band.
Yeah, I got a
Old Crow
cold
Medicine
call.
show.
Yeah, the little string band that we have the song Wagon Wheel. Nobody's heard it.
Nope.
Um,
What was it like stepping into that band with them having been a band for so long, even though they took a few years off and were just
yeah,
sort of regrouping? But
it was really hard. It was really hard because I had to figure out how to join this band. Like you said, that had already been a huge band that had been really successful, and I had to figure out how to enter the band and not make it seem like I was trying to replace Willie Watson or what he did.
right,
And that was always something that was really a sensitive issue where we all wanted to integrate me into the band in a new way,
right,
where it didn't feel like, oh, Old Crow's back, but now this guy's replaced this other guy.
yeah,
So there was this intentional shift in the band, and I tried to take sort of a backseat role and a more supportive role in that band,
right,
and not try to, you know, try to try to get myself out there and play a leading role in the band. And in doing that, I was able to really support them to go in directions that they hadn't gone in before, and I was integral to the creative process and helping write the songs and recording the records and doing all that. But I was sort of the behind the scenes guy,
right,
where I was just kind of trying to make Old Crow great again,
right.
and lift them off, because when I met them and they went on that tour that I joined them on, when they reunited, they were kind of had come out of a little of a broken place
Right.
with having lost Willie,
Yeah.
and then just being just kind of like, is anybody gonna like the band anymore? Are we gonna be able to do it? Is it gonna be any good?
Yeah.
So it was a real fragile situation that I came into. So I really tried to come in and just support them as musicians and help them realize their vision for what the band was going to be moving forward.
And clearly that worked.
It did work.
Or it was just a coincidence that you joined the band and play on Remedy, and oh, it wins a Grammy, the first Grammy. Well,
Well,
the first
yeah,
Grammy for a record. They
yeah.
wanted.
I'd like to say I have the Midas touch.
Well,
Any
clearly,
project I join wins a Grammy.
if anybody needs a fiddle
If
player
anybody needs a
slash
fiddle
banjo
player,
player slash guitarist slash carpenter,
I can
you
build it.
can
I
win
can play
a. You can win a Grammy.
it. Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was amazing rise to success, and especially coming where I had been
Yeah.
before I got the call. I had kind of sunk into poverty in Appalachia, and it was rough times
Yeah.
for sure. I was just scraping by barely,
Right.
when Ketch called me. So
Wow.
that was a good call to get. In fact, when I got the call, I was in such a bad place that I didn't even have a vehicle that would drive as far as
To get you to
Nashville.
Nashville.
So I had to go
Did
rent
you
a
have?
car.
Oh, okay.
I had to go rent a car, and of course I
Oh,
found.
the real romantic story would have been if you hitchchiked.
Oh, that would have been really
like
good.
with your instrument slung on your back, a
Yeah,
little
coming into
knapsack.
Nashville
Yeah, it's like
with my guitar on my back, ready to audition for the big
yep,
break.
yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah. I had to actually go and rent a car to get down here,
Well,
and
21st century, I guess.
yeah, that's the 21st century version. It's not as sexy.
No. So because you do play a number of instruments in the band and just generally, what's it like in your brain? Because I was thinking about this. Is it just such natural muscle memory at this point that you can switch so easily, or is it sort of like when you speak different languages and you slip a Spanish word into a French sentence, sort of a thing?
Yeah, sometimes there's bloopers, but I've gotten pretty used to how all of them feel different,
Yeah,
but they all require just a little bit different approach. So sometimes it is hard switching
yeah,
because, for instance, the way my guitar is set up, this acoustic that I use with Old Crow, the action's really high, so it can be punchy and be a strong rhythm instrument. And then you go to a fiddle, and it's like playing on, the strings feel like pieces of thread.
right,
So it is challenging in that way, but I found that being a multi-instrumentalist, I'm able to learn what different instruments do really well, and then also cross over,
yeah.
and that's really helped.
You're like,
Well,
oh, I wonder if this would work on that.
yeah, like alternative tunings in the guitar.
Yeah,
I had been into that kind of early on when I was playing as a teenager, but then getting into old time music, there's tons of different tunings used on the fiddle and the banjo. So I've kind of adapted that approach to guitar too, where I've realized, oh, I can use this banjo tuning on guitar, or to tune the guitar to the same way the fiddle is tuned, and you kind of start to get an idea of how you can exploit these different things.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I know you recently did some solo shows here in Nashville.
Yeah.
So, is that still a lingering ambition in your mind? Are there
It
projects
is.
coming? So,
Yes, there is a project coming.
okay.
I'm going to be going into the studio in a couple weeks here after I finish building it. and and laying down yeah, my next record,
Cool.
which is going to be called The Electric Crow. And it's kind of the next kind of creative project that I want to use all the different elements, all the different kinds of music that I play, and
Right.
kind of bring that through my own creative, focus and hone in something completely new. So yes, that is on the way.
All right. So it's a little bit prescient me having you on here, isn't it? It's a little
Yes.
bit cool. I
Yeah.
like it.
So that is coming down the road.
All right.
That is coming down the road.
More solo shows coming up. Well, you guys have Old Crow has a record coming out
Old Crow has a
on
record coming
420.
out. 420.
Volunteer.
Yeah. Strangely, a date associated with drugs.
Weird.
It's weird for a
A
band
lot
like
of
Old
people
Crow.
have records coming out that day, though.
Yeah, I know.
And yes, several of them would probably pick that day specifically. Now that I think about it,
Yeah, does Willie Nelson have a record coming out that day
I
too?
don't know, but Axl Monroe and Brothers Osborne both do.
Cool.
So
Well, maybe we can all light up together.
that'll be fun. That'd be a fun release party.
That would be a fun release
Can
party.
we all just pile into Studio A?
Yeah, that'd be
Please?
that'd be epic.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a
Dave?
new record coming out. And so we're gonna go ahead and work that,
Cool.
and then after that,
So you'll have this ready, and then once the tour cycle sort of fades off, then you'll
that is
electric
my
crow
hope.
it. All right.
That is my hope. But you know how it is with making records.
I do.
You know, sometimes
And
you
making
make a record,
plans.
and then 2 years later,
Oh, hi. Yeah.
hey, I've actually done 5 Appalachian String Band records, but they just haven't been released
Oh,
yet.
all right.
Yeah,
You're saving them for the greatest hits compilation.
2020.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do a song for us now.
Okay.
Which one you gonna do first?
I'm gonna try a new one that's gonna be on the forthcoming Electric Crow record.
Okay.
So see if I can play it and not mess it up too bad here.
Yeah, don't mess it up, man.
Pressure's on.
Whew, that cookie's going away if you don't play it right.
That's my reward. I get to eat a piece of that if I play this right.
Cool.
Well, you feel like a cool rain coming down after a long hot summer in this town. And you don't know the shape I'm in. I can't wait till this day is done. Come wrap your arms around me like the setting sun. 'Cause you don't know the shape I'm in. Well, lay me down slow. I'm gonna kiss you, pretty mama, from your head down to your toes. Well, lay this body down. I know I ain't dying, but I feel I'm heaven bound. Well, the road can sure put some dirt on the soul when you're slinging snake oil in a medicine show. You don't know the shape I'm in. I'm like a hard wind blowing in the heat of the south. Can take me to the river or wash me out. 'Cause you don't know the shape I'm in. Well, lay me down slow. I'm gonna kiss you, pretty mama, from your head down to your toes. Well, lay this body down. I know I ain't dying, but I swear I'm heaven bound. Well, throw all your bags trunk of my car. We'll head down south and catch a shooting star. You can read me your book, I'll play you my song. Dance all night with the bottle of rum. 'Cause only you know the shape I'm in. Only you know the shape I'm in. Only you know the shape I'm in. Only you know the shape I'm in.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Chance McCoy. Is it called The Shape I'm In?
The shape I'm in.
That's a good guess.
I really work on the originality of my titles.
Yes,
Very hard.
yes. Off this, at some point, upcoming Electric Crow record.
Yes, I'd like everybody to know who enjoyed that song that it's not available anywhere.
It is not available, only here.
Only here. This is it.
Yep.
Only place you can get it. It's
We'll-
good marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a strategy that's worked for me in the past.
Yes. If you love that, great. That's just too bad.
We're living in the moment.
Just rewind and listen again.
Yeah.
It all works. Okay, the enlightening round.
The
today.
enlightening round. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm going to list places, and I want you to tell me your favorite things about them.
Uh-oh.
And if you notice a pattern in the places,
Okay.
you know, you will, I'm sure.
You never know. I'm not really that.
Oh,
Okay.
I think you'll notice the pattern.
All right.
Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing about Raleigh,
Yeah.
the Research Triangle.
Yeah, they do good work. Good stuff comes out of there.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, New England.
New England.
Mm-hmm.
Lobster rolls.
Cool. Fair.
And swimming in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roanoke.
Roanoke.
Have you picked up the pattern?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I'm onto it. Something I don't know, something about smoking a joint,
Okay.
and yeah, it's a good place to smoke a joint and catch a truck south. I think
Something. Something like that.
this is good. This is a good game.
Right?
I'm
Yeah.
still not caught on to you, but
Okay.
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I wonder how many people haven't caught on yet.
Let's keep going.
Okay. Philly.
Oh, Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Cheesesteaks.
It's an obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have said the Eagles.
This
since
is
they
just.
won the Super Bowl.
I wish I knew that. So my friend of mine just posted a picture of the Eagles, the band,
Oh,
on Instagram and said congratulations.
nice. Yeah. If only they should have played the Super Bowl at halftime.
That would have been great.
That would have been great,
Oh man.
especially if they had worn Justin Timberlake's Bass Pro Shop outfit.
It is
Can you imagine
awesome.
like Don Henley in that fake camo with the deer in the lake? And the
I would
thing?
love to see that. I heard he's into they're into country music. They're into the folk music.
Totally.
They're into Bass Pro.
Yeah. Yeah. Cumberland Gap.
Cumberland Gap. It's a darn good fiddle tune.
It is. It was funny because last year, both Dave Rawlings and Jason Isbell had new songs called Cumberland Gap.
I
They had songs on
know.
the record.
I realize that because part of the honor of winning a Grammy means that I get to vote now.
Right.
And
they were both.
they were both nominated for tunes called Cumberland Gap for Best New Original Tune.
Yeah.
And I thought, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Okay, last one.
All right.
Johnson City.
Johnson City, Tennessee. Man, Johnson City is a strange place.
I think I've driven through there, but I've not stopped in Johnson City.
That was probably a wise decision.
Was it?
I played a gig there one time in Johnson City,
Well,
and it was probably the highlight of my career.
was it on your 3-show world tour for
It
your
was
album?
on. It wasn't. This was a side project splinter group
Okay.
called Old Sledge,
Oh.
and we went to Johnson City and we played in a coffee shop, and it was great because being the big band that we were, we had tons of viral videos up on YouTube,
Yeah, yeah.
and no, we didn't have any of that, and unfortunately, I had no videos up on YouTube until the Johnson City gig, which every video was posted with the grainy cell phone
Right,
and
right.
a foreign man talking loudly in the background. So
Nice.
that was our exposure
That
to
was your
the.
big viral moment.
That was. We kind of broke YouTube.
Yeah, no doubt. All right.
I see the pattern now.
Yeah, it all becomes clear once you get to Johnson City. Everything
Yeah, it took me
comes
up
into
until that
focus.
point.
I'm sure. Okay, second song,
All right, second
Fiddle Man.
song. Second song. All right, this one is an old traditional tune from West Virginia called "You Piney Mountain,"
Okay,
and
not pig in a pen.
not pig in a pen. U Piney Mountain. U pines are spruce trees that grow in the high elevations, and that used to be mostly what West Virginia was covered in,
All
as
right.
U pines in the high elevation. And I learned this tune from an old fiddler in West Virginia. It's a good old scary Appalachian tune.
Is there a body count?
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, you can hear the moans and wails in
Yeah.
it for
Yeah.
sure.
Good.
All right, so U Piney Mountain. I'll try to do this one. And this one recently was used in George Washington's Mount Vernon.
Right.
Like I said, it
Your
was
first sync.
my first sync license. So I was glad it was this tune.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool.
yeah.
Do it. Yeah, that song has a body count. You just feel it.
That song definitely has a body count. Something went terribly
Something
wrong.
went so wrong. But at least it's documented. There's a song to tell the story.
There is. Beautiful dark song. That's what I like. I like music with an edge.
Yeah.
And that's my quote of the day.
Okay. Good. Well, I guess we can end it right there. Chance McCoy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kelly.
Hey, I won't say who canceled today that opened the spot up, but I'm glad they did.
We know who it is.
We do. I do. You don't. I'll tell you after.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, let's see. No show next week because it's Folk Alliance International in Kansas City, and the camera will be there. We're going to do some live streaming from our suite on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. We don't know who yet, but stay tuned for that. Then, though, on the 23rd, we got Lily Hyatt. And then March, you guys, let me just tell you about March. We're doing some double show days. March 2nd, Ani DeFranco and Grantley Phillips. March 9th, Bela Fleck and Abigail Washburn. And then I'm with her. March 16th, Valerie June. March 23rd, Amber Rubarth. It's
Strong,
crazy.
strong lineup.
Yeah, trying to get Jerry Douglas for March 30th. We'll see. Put some pressure on him if you see him at the grocery store or something.
If you're watching this on Facebook,
Yeah,
Jerry.
Jerry, step on up, man. All right. See you around town.
All right.
Now that we know each other, you can come help JP put them in my doors, maybe.
I'd love to. Let's get down. Let's get the tool belts
Let's
on.
get it. Let's get the saws out. All right. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Until then, over and out from Hillbilly Central.